Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. Have you ever had this experience? One day you tell yourself, this time I must lose weight properly. I will exercise every day and control my diet. In the near future, I will have a healthy and enviable body. This kind of self-dialogue may have occurred many times, yet the grand goal remains unrealized, and you are still the same as before, unchanged. What is the reason for your failure? You always choose to give up halfway, or you never really start. What you don't understand is that even though you are determined, you cannot persevere. Many times, you attribute the reason to your weakness and lack of discipline, but the truth is, you haven't done anything wrong. The problem lies in your strategy. Due to the strategy's failure, you cannot achieve the desired results. At the same time, you fail to realize your problem in time, so you continue to repeat the same mistakes. You start with passion, then fail, you start again, only to fail once more, and keep fantasizing about seeing some results. But do you know? If no results are produced, no matter how strong your determination is, it is meaningless. If a strategy has failed many times, it's time to try something else. If the strategy doesn't suit you, even if it suits others, it has no value. Duke University once conducted a study, which found that about 45% of our behavior is driven by habits. However, habits are far more important than this 45% suggests because they are repeated behaviors, many of which occur daily. In the long run, this continual repetition can lead to significant benefits if they are positive habits, or harmful consequences if they are negative. Given the crucial role habits play in our lives, actively and effectively establishing high-quality habits to help us succeed is highly meaningful. Establishing a habit is a process, and there's a common misconception that it takes 21 days to form one. However, this is incorrect. Establishing a habit typically takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days, with an average of 66 days for a behavior to become a habit. The best way to achieve this is through the strategy of mini habits. What are mini habits? They are extremely small positive actions based on tiny steps, almost inconceivably small behaviors that require very little willpower due to their minuscule nature, making the formation of mini habits virtually fail-proof. Once you have these good mini habits, they can help you surpass 99% of people in the world, especially when you struggle to sustain lasting change. They can bring you great surprises. Stephen Guise once attempted to exercise but repeatedly failed. One day, he stumbled upon the book Think or Toys by Michael Machako, which greatly inspired him. He learned about the mask, creative thinking technique in the book, which suggests approaching a problem from its opposite side. Since he always failed at exercising, he thought, what is the opposite of a 30-minute workout? It's doing just one push-up. Despite his doubts about this answer, he decided to start his new strategy by taking extremely small steps. He completed a single push-up on the ground, and this simple small step brought him astonishing results in his future life. Because of that one push-up, he started taking action. His sluggish muscles slowly woke up under the force of the push-up. Also, because of this single push-up, he realized that doing it was very easy to sustain. While gaining a small sense of achievement, he turned continuous self-challenge into a possibility. He gradually exceeded the number of exercises, eventually developing the habit of exercising for 30 minutes after several months. From his experience, Stephen Guise drew two conclusions. 1. Even a little action is infinitely stronger than doing nothing at all. 2. The impact of doing a little bit each day is greater than doing a lot on some days. In other words, the effect of small commitments is better than that of big commitments. Once you complete your daily micro-goals, you are likely to continue with the extra steps, because once you start, it becomes easier to continue. Moreover, the beauty of it is that your behavior will slowly evolve from mini habits into habits, which is the benefit of adopting the mini habit strategy. Every great achievement is built on the foundation laid before. Trace it back, and you'll find that everything starts with that initial small step. The effect of mini habits is unique, but you cannot obtain it directly, they can only be shaped through long-term repetition. In other words, to establish a good habit, we must constantly repeat it. Many traditional habit formation strategies often mention phrases like, "This process is indeed difficult, so you must desire it deeply." However, people have used such methods for years or even decades, and ultimately achieved nothing. Why? Because this motivation strategy is unreliable and ineffective most of the time. You may occasionally exercise or engage in difficult work when you feel motivated, but it is easier to give up once the motivation disappears. This is because motivation is often based on human feelings, which are the most easily changed and unpredictable. Relying on motivation strategies is like building a house on liquid. When you rely on constantly changing feelings as the source of your actions, it is difficult to help you maintain a behavior in the long term and develop it into a habit. This is also one of the important reasons why many people often make resolutions to do something but ultimately achieve nothing. Mini habits are different, they are not mixed with any emotions, and they make people's behavior happen naturally. Since motivation is unreliable, it raises a question: what do we rely on to persist in developing mini habits? The answer is willpower. The willpower strategy of mini habits can help people boost motivation. However, unlike motivation, willpower can be strengthened like a muscle, and it is the key to self-improvement. Motivation may occasionally be effective, but it is not always successful and is not easily improved. It often comes and goes. But willpower is different. It can overcome various emotional resistance and take positive action. For example, when faced with challenges, you can use willpower to confront your problems, envision solutions, and make corresponding plans. Even without sufficient motivation, you can successfully complete tasks according to the plan. So, is willpower inexhaustible? In 2010, researchers conducted a meta-analysis of 87 studies on self-control and identified 5 major factors that contribute to self-control depletion: effort expenditure, perceived difficulty, negative emotions, subjective fatigue, and blood glucose levels. These factors are the 5 biggest obstacles to achieving sustained success using willpower-based strategies. This means that people's willpower can gradually be depleted under the influence of these 5 main factors, leading us into difficulties if things progress to that point. The good news is that many habits hardly consume willpower in terms of effort expenditure, perceived difficulty, negative emotions, subjective fatigue, or blood glucose levels. This implies that you will have virtually endless willpower. Imagine starting your journey of mini habit formation by doing just 1 push-up each day. You really need very little willpower for it. This mini habit strategy allows you to take action in any situation and bring your abilities to their optimal level. It can be said that the perfect combination for personal growth is mini steps combined with some willpower. As long as you have enough willpower to complete one action, you can take that action. As mentioned earlier, micro steps hardly require willpower, so if you guide yourself correctly with micro steps, you can almost make yourself do anything. Think of mini habits as the foundation of your daily routine, things you must do every day, but only take a few minutes to complete. After completing them, you can do whatever you want, whether it's doing more or engaging in other activities. You can flexibly schedule them according to your current lifestyle, but they will become a lever for your personal development because they can transform small habits into something much bigger. During the process of forming mini habits, there are 2 things to keep in mind. First, the first sign of habit formation is a weakening of resistance emotions. When you feel strong resistance, you should step back and shrink your goals until they are incredibly small. At the same time, believe that accumulating each small step can turn quantitative changes into qualitative changes in life philosophy. Daily small victories may seem insignificant, but they are enormous for a discouraged heart. Therefore, be satisfied with every small progress you make. Second, it's not advisable to have too many mini habits. The more mini habits you have, the less likely you are to exceed them, your energy will be dispersed, and your depleted willpower will increase. For many people, having 2 to 3 mini habits in one phase is the most appropriate amount. Once habits are formed, you can cultivate new mini-habits again. The essence of the mini-habit strategy is to eliminate invisible restrictions and psychological pressure such as high expectations and to act effortlessly. As long as you start taking action, you have the opportunity to do more. When action becomes a habit, you will unconsciously reach goals that once seemed unattainable. As the saying goes, a tiny spark can ignite a great conflagration. Congratulations on finishing another book. Keep it up.